Good evening, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. A federal high court in Abuja has released the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, on bail. Justice Adeniyi Ademola admitted him to bail unconditionally while ruling in an application filed and argued by his lawyer Vincent Obeta. In the ruling, Justice Ademola, who had last month granted permission to the DSS to detain Kanu for 90 days, set aside the order. According to him, the continued detention of Kanu after 2 months without trial violates the 1999 Constitution. Kanu is standing trial for alleged criminal conspiracy, managing and belonging to an unlawful society, and criminal intimidation. Nigeria President Muhammadu Buhari has written a letter to the National Assembly stating his intention to present the 6.07 trillion naira proposed budget before a joint session of both legislative houses. This was announced by the Senate President Bukola Saraki at the Senate plenary. The federal government had on December 7 proposed a budget of 6 trillion naira for 2016 at an oil benchmark of $38 per barrel. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has appealed to the United Nations to urgently investigate allegations of attack by the Nigerian military on a Shia Muslim group in Zaria, Kaduna State, and the alleged killing of numerous people after a military convoy got stuck by a march. The appeal, dated 17 December 2015, was signed by SERAP Executive Director Adetokunbo Mumuni. SERAP urged Christoph Haynes of the United Nations to use good offices and position to investigate the conflict. SERAP asked the UN to publicly express concerns about the allegations of use of excessive force by the Nigerian military and also investigate the allegations, and asked the Nigerian government to establish effective accountability means for human rights violations by its soldiers. The United States diplomatic mission to Nigeria has expressed deep concern over the violent clash between the Nigerian army and the Islamic movement of Nigeria. While the army accused the sect members of attempting to assassinate the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, the Islamic movement said soldiers opened fire on its members. The Islamic movement claimed that over 500 of their members were killed by soldiers in Zaria, Kaduna State. Nigerian authorities are yet to confirm the actual number of people killed in that clash. The mission said it was dismayed to learn of multiple civilian deaths while calling for an investigation into the crisis. It urged all sides to refrain from actions that further destabilize the situation. President Muhammadu Buhari hosted the extraordinary summit of the Economic Community of West African States Authority of Heads of State and Government. This meeting was held in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, to mark its 40th anniversary. At the meeting, President Buhari stressed the need for a regional and indeed global solidarity in efforts to counter threats of terrorism and climate change facing the ECOWAS.
Over the years, our organization has recorded concrete achievements which loudly speak for themselves. ECOWAS has indeed been universally acclaimed as a model regional economic community. In spite of the significant achievements, our community still faces numerous challenges. While some militate against the integration drive, others continue to pose risks to peace and security, as well as political stability in the region. There are also structural and administrative challenges in running the commissioning that equally require serious attention. Security challenges persist in our region as we continue to be confronted with the daunting scourge of transitional organized crime, including arms trafficking, drug trafficking, as well as piracy and criminality at sea. Equally, worrying is the rising scourge of violent extremism and terrorism. All these constitute serious threats to peace and security in the region, and therefore require our urgent and concerted actions. Regional and indeed global solidarity is vital in our efforts to counter these threats. To this end, we must continue to enhance our system of governance and, working with our partners, accelerate the implementation of our joint initiatives and mechanisms created to address these daunting but not unsurmountable risks. As we do so, we should not relent in our effort to engage with member states coming out of crisis in order to help them to consolidate on the achievements made. The catastrophic consequences of climate change are manifest in our region. A number of fragilities, conflicts, and environmental degradation that affect our countries today with serious negative impact on peace, security, economy, and livelihoods are either directly or indirectly triggered by climate change. Alone, we will not be able to reverse or stop some of these consequences, as it requires huge investment of resources far beyond our capabilities. We should therefore continue to press for international assistance and to work with the rest of the world to protect the environment. We should do so without losing focus on our industrial development objectives. Our efforts to fast-track regional integration should also be informed by the requirement for clean source of energy.
A federal high court in Abuja has deferred till Monday the ruling on whether or not to grant bail to former National Security Advisor Colonel Sambo Dasuki retired and 5 others. The accused are facing charges of alleged diversion of funds meant for arms for the fight against terrorism. Hearing of their bail application was deferred till December 21st on Wednesday. The other accused persons are the immediate past Minister of State for Finance, Bashir Yuguda, a former governor of Sokoto State, Atahiru Bafarawa, and his son, Sagiu Atahiru, the director of finance in the office of the National Security Advisor, Shuaibu Salisu, and 2 others. Counsel to the accused persons, Ahmed Raji, who led the argument for the bail application, said the offences for which they were to be tried for were bailable. Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf adjourned the case after taking argument for and against the bail application by both parties in the suit. Governor of Rivers State Nyesom Wike has approached the Supreme Court to challenge the ruling of the Court of Appeal, which upheld the judgment of the Rivers State Election Petition Tribunal that nullified his election. Counsel to Wike had told reporters after the judgment of the appeal court that Wike would appeal the ruling. A Court of Appeal panel sitting in Abuja had said Wike, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in this year's election, was not validly elected, having failed to comply with the provision of the Electoral Act and the electoral guidelines laid down by INEC. No date has been fixed for the hearing by the Supreme Court.
On behalf of our leader, the Minister for Transportation, and on behalf of the governorship candidate, Senator Adolfo Peterside and his deputy Asita, and on behalf of all the party members and the BOT member for Rivers State here with me, I wish to give all the glory to the Almighty God who has made today possible. I also want to thank this country for having the appellate court, which has stood firm to affirm the decision of the election tribunal. This has vindicated our stand that in Rivers State there was no election. Now our people have the opportunity to vote for the governor that they want to select for themselves.
We are happy with the judgment. We are not surprised that the appeals were dismissed. All the issues that were raised and argued were resolved in favor of the first and second respondents. And we are happy and delighted on the aspect of the judgment dealing with the card reader and the condemnation of INEC appealing against itself. INEC spent millions of naira to import and deploy card reader in the election. the same INEC has come to the tribunal and the Court of Appeal to denigrate the card reader. And this is what the court has taken a serious exception to. We are happy, and I believe that everybody in Rivers State is happy with the judgment.
The Court of Appeal has determined in its wisdom that the judgment of the lower tribunal be upheld. We will obtain copies of this judgment in due course, study them, and give our clients informed advice. But clearly, I can assure you, we would like to have a second opinion by the Supreme Court on the various legal issues raised and thrown up by the nature of this petition.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode on Thursday presented the 2016 budget proposal of about 665 billion naira to the House of Assembly. The governor said the budget was an improvement of 26% over the budgets of 2014 and 2015 respectively, which stood at 489.6 billion naira individually. Giving a breakdown of the budget figures, Governor Ambode put the recurrent expenditure at 278.909 billion naira, while the capital expenditure stands at 383.678 billion naira. According to him, the increase will enable his government to focus on the present challenges of security, traffic gridlock resolution, including physical and social infrastructure development. The Nigeria Police Force has rated its performance for the year 2015 as definitely above average. At a briefing in Abuja, the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, said the police force reduced corruption to the barest minimum through enhanced staff welfare and effective monitoring of personnel.
Major challenge within the global policing space is the concerns about the abuse of police coercive powers. In Nigeria, I inherited a force that has often been accused by members of the public of extrajudicial killings. It has been discovered that the resort to lethal weapons as a first line of response by the police is a major contributing factor. Consequently, in line with my vow that no Nigerian shall suffer any injustice on account of my actions or inactions, the force is currently in the process of migrating from the use of lethal weapons to electromuscular disruption technology, TASER. They call them TASER or stun guns. This is a revolutionary and unprecedented initiative in the history of policing in Nigeria, which in the long run will effectively reduce fatalities associated with police actions. The rebranding and retraining of federal SARS personnel to meet up with professional standard has been undertaken. This was done with a view to addressing public concerns and complaints of their less than civil mode of operation and penchant for corruption. In furtherance of the rebranding initiative, SARS personnel have been revetted, retrained, and rekitted in line with standard best practices to make them easily identifiable to members of the public. The intent is to ensure that they remain potent in their anti-robbery operations, but professional, incorruptible, and civil in their appearance, orientation, and conduct towards citizens. These, ladies and gentlemen, are being achieved. Stagnation on the rank was identified as one of the frustrating indexes that engender corruption in the Nigerian police. On account of this, since my appointment, I have, with the consistent understanding and support of the Police Service Commission, initiated the promotion of over 25,000 rank and file who have been stagnating on their ranks for varying years across the board. This figure includes personnel who have consistently risked their lives and courageously confronted insurgents in the Northeast. Most of them have been considered for special promotion. In addition, over 5,184 traffic wardens that have remained demotivated and agitated for years due to rank stagnation have also been promoted, while 995 senior officers have been promoted from the rank of ASP to DIGs during the period of review.
The Nigeria Police Force also launched an educational scholarship foundation for children of junior cadre officers and those who lost their lives in the line of duty. A total of 325 children received scholarships for education from primary school level to tertiary level.
The Nigerian Police Force is not only adding value to the future of our children, we are, by this event, giving hope to our colleagues and their families. We are affirming two clear statements. Firstly, that the first leadership will profoundly reward the families of serving police officers that keep faith with our vision of a professional, disciplined, civil, loyal, and incorruptible police force in a way that will motivate them for higher performance. Secondly, for our colleagues that pay the supreme price in the line of duty, they shall not walk alone. We, as their commanders and colleagues, will do everything within our professional powers to keep their invaluable dreams alive and support the family they have left behind. This scholarship initiative is just one of such reward systems. Beyond this, ladies and gentlemen, the MPF Educational Foundation will also be utilized to support the families of Nigerian citizens who are victims of abuses associated with the police. This is with intent to demonstrate our moral obligation to them, even as we bring the erring officers to desired justice. In furtherance to this, I wish to announce the extension of scholarship to all the 4 children of Mr. Godwin Sunday, whose life was killed by a policeman at Isheri, Osun State recently, and who was injured in the process. In announcing the scholarship for Mr. Sunday's children, let me confirm that the concerned policeman has, in line with the extant police force policy, been dismissed and is currently in prison custody, having been arraigned in court on murder charges. The beneficiaries include 12-year-old Mary Godwin Sunday, 9-year-old Blessing Godwin Sunday, 7-year-old Ibrahim Godwin Sunday. Also to benefit is the 1-year-old Elijah Godwin Sunday, who will be taken care of from a creche through his secondary school education. All these are in addition to the fact that the first leadership has taken full responsibility for the medical bills of recuperating Mr. Godwin Sunday.
Let's take a short break now. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man, that's you. It's too much. So you get it like, when she move along the street, yeah, me should like there, I'm going girl, you know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm one of those very few, I'm forever taking it personal. I will listen 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? My brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We did the way you did.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, we will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. This is TV360 News Now. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has denied reports making the rounds of a potential hike in petroleum products in 2016. Speaking in a press conference in Abuja, NNPC head Ibe Kachuku hinted that the federal government is not thinking in that direction. Rather, the price of refined products are to hover between a band of 97 and 87 naira. He stressed the need to effectively check the smuggling of petroleum products.
Of course, is that the federal government shouldn't spend as much as it is spending every year on subsidy. So first is an issue of a responsibility approach. This year, like I said, we spent over 1 trillion. And given the state of the finances that this government made, we have to save money through every means. And what I'm trying to help them do is not to continue to spend that amount of money. But you all know that the president himself has a lot of energy, rightly so, about making sure that whatever we do, the poor people are not affected. Poor people don't pay a huge price for this. And so he's asked for, let's try and see how we can do this in a way that palliatives will help provide for some of this. So what you will find is it's become intellectual. It's no longer just take a number, yank it off, and take off subsidy, and we go. Because we've done that many times, we're still where we are. And so what we're doing is reviewing the PPR template. How can we whittle down some of the cost elements, cost of clearing, cost for allocation for PEF, reduce those, foreign exchange provisions. How do we deal with foreign exchange? So there's some stability in terms of the exchange rate, which is why when you hear people say, no, just go deregulate and all that, it's a key component where deregulate your back to square one also. So we're looking at how do we provide some level of allocation to the oil industry so that there's a bit of certainty in terms of the regime for FX, and so that saves you the exchange component in the whole analysis. Finally is the amount. For very many years, we've carried on the figure of over 50 million as daily consumption. And I'm happy somebody asked the question, how can you say it's 20-something point? No, and that data was wrong. I think he must have been trying to say 38 point something, not 28 point something. The figure that we've seen over the last 3 months is on the average of just slightly below 40 million. And so, again, we've projected that if you could close the amount of products that are smuggled out of the country, and smuggling continues, if you can police that, the effective consumption of this country can be in excess of 35-36 million. So if you take that analysis, we're able to say that we can deliver products today with the price of oil where it is today, and sell close to the prices that you have today without the need for federal government to pay a subsidy. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. It is not that you've removed subsidy, it is that the application of the market mechanisms have enabled you to sell products at close to the prices today. Now, is it going to be 87? Is it going to be 90? We'll have to have PPRA begin to do those templates. Like I said, it's going to be a modulation thing. So at 35, you might find that you're selling products, quite frankly, at the same 87. By the time you look at 36, we'll be selling at 80 on, at 90 or 91. But we're going to have a band. What has been approved is that we'll have a band of between 87 and 97 to look at price modulation and look at price at every given time of crude. So it's no longer something you just fix in the air. It's not a static number. It's going to be a price that PPRA once a quarter will look at and say, what's the price of crude? How can we reflect that in the price of the product, but making sure we're not past the ceiling of 97.
Nigeria's naira fell to a new low between 274 to 280 to the US dollar on the unofficial market on Thursday. On the official interbank markets closed at 196.97 on Thursday. The CBN advised commercial banks to limit how much customers can spend abroad using their debit cards. This serves as the latest crackdown on dollar demand to save its dwindling foreign reserves. South Africa's MTN Group has said it will challenge in a Lagos court the fine imposed by Nigeria's telecom regulator for failing to cut off unregistered users. This was announced by the telecom company on Thursday. MTN was handed a $5.2 billion fine in October, prompting 5 weeks of lobbying that led to the penalty being reduced by 25% earlier this month. Nigeria's MTN's biggest market has been pushing telecom firms to verify the identity of subscribers amid worries unregistered SIM cards were being used for criminal activities in the country. The NCC has also given MTN a deadline of December 31st to pay the fine. Oil slipped toward an 11-year low on Thursday, dented further by a seemingly relentless build in oversupply. Brent crude for February delivery fell 20 cents to $37.19 a barrel, while U.S. crude was down 5 cents at $35.47 a barrel after finishing nearly 5% lower on Wednesday. OPEC Secretary General Abdullah Al-Badri has said current low oil prices will not continue and will change in a few months or a year. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights has accused Burundi's authorities on Thursday of dragging the country towards full-blown civil war. Speaking at a special session of the United Nations Human Rights Council, Zaid Rad Al-Hussein called for travel bans and asset freezes targeting key officials to try to halt the bloodshed. He condemned a campaign of political repression that included beatings, arrests and house-to-house searches in which he said at least 400 people had been killed and nearly 3,500 detained. detained. Zaid, other UN officials and Western envoys have expressed alarm at the escalating violence in the country that has only emerged from a 12-year civil war in 2005. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has called for urgent talks to avert civil war in Burundi. Moving on to sports now, Chelsea has sacked manager Jose Mourinho 7 months after he led them to the Premier League title. The 52-year-old Portuguese had been in his second spell at the club, taking charge in June 2013. Chelsea finished 8 points clear last season and won the League Cup, but have lost 9 of their 16 league games so far and are 16th in the table, 1 point above the relegation places. Mourinho's final match was Monday's 2-1 defeat at leaders Leicester City. Meanwhile, Pep Guardiola, Gus Hindig, Wande Ramos and Brendan Rodgers have all been touted as possible successors for the team. Former Super Eagles coach Bonfrey Joe has praised the qualities of the Dream Team 6 coach Samson Siasia, saying that the former Nigerian international can lead the team to glory in Rio 2016. Siasia guided the Nigerian under-23 team to win the 2015 CAF Africa Cup of Nations in Senegal, thereby securing an automatic spot in next year's showpiece in Brazil. Joe has said that with the right preparations, the team can come and return with the Olympic gold medal. Well, we've come to the end of news now. Thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.